Hey, cheers people, it's Sunday, and I'm drinking out of my Kleeman cup. That's an album I play on by the Danish artist Kleeman. Just a quick hello and a check-in, as it were. You know, I haven't received any new records. Anita, if you're watching this, I know you sent me something from Poland. It hasn't arrived yet. I think there's another some more records that should have been here by now, but this happens. I do hope they didn't get lost or destroyed. That has happened to me in the past, where the post office for some reason thought that my packages needed to be opened, and then they sent them on anyway and tried to say it was an accident. Of course, I don't really know that it really looks like the packages were just ripped open, you know. And one of those times it happened, I didn't even receive everything I was supposed to get in the package somehow. Anyway, so quick update on what I said. I was given a car this weekend, and I can say that it was through the BC and musicians. You know that I am long distance friends with, and I collaborate from time to time with Brett Harold Hart. Well, it turns out that his sister and brother-in-law live in Omaha, and I didn't expect anything, but he got a hold of me and said that his sister and brother-in-law have probably have a car for me. So that happened yesterday. I met Sam, Brett's brother-in-law. We get along well. He's a salt of the earth kind of a guy, you know what I'm saying? And the car, as it turns out, he had given to his son, but then was able to find a better car for the son, gave that to him. And this one's a junker. It is. It's in really poor shape, but it's a gift and I accept it. Interestingly, though, the car really is in bad shape. It barely made it home. I had to drive it home. Things work out for a reason. As I was driving off, you know, it was really loud and sputtering and shit, you know. So later that morning, after I've gotten home and tried to take it to a mechanic that I know to work on, and that was a whole nother story, where the mechanic said, bring it over. I take it over, and then he's in the middle of some domestic problems with his family. Well, I can't wait around for them to finish arguing for him to look at the car. So I sputtered it back home. You know, it barely made it, okay? But in the meantime of that happening, I hear from Sam again, who tells me he's found me a better car. He said, I didn't realize that one when you drove off. I didn't realize that the exhaust was so bad. And so said, give me a couple of days. So I have a car, but I can't drive it because it really runs poorly. It's like, you know, if I may say, and if American car drivers don't take offense, but I got spoiled a long time ago with Japanese cars. There's something about the engines. I don't know cars. I just know that the Japanese cars I've had, they didn't do what American motors do. And this one that was given to me immediately did what it was that I never liked about American motors. But I just want to just share that much, and I'm thankful, you know, I'm thankful. And if the other car doesn't come, I'll get this one running, you know. I'm very thankful. Musically, the one thing I will share is I got into some oldies like this, Ride. Man, what fantastic songs. This one too. Joy Division, Unknown Pleasures. Just massively influenced me. This is what got me to start my own band. Pretty much this album right here. I mean, there were some others, but it really was this album, Joy Division. This is an original. It's not translucent, but it's one of the first 20 to 30,000 copies pressed in England. I know that because I bought this in 1980 at the latest. I got it as soon as it got to Omaha. Textured cover. So deep, so real, so bleak, so human. Just so much what the soul needs. This is what I need. This is what I need in music. This is what I need. And on the other opposite end of that, I played this a couple nights ago just for fun. Kraftwerk, Neon Lights. This could be music that you hear in a department store or something, you know. It's so pleasant. This happens to be the glow-in-the-dark version, which is partially why I just got it out. I just wanted to see, does it still glow? And it does. But I love Kraftwerk. And I just love what music does for me. Once again, tripping in the past recently, listening to Yeti by Amandul. So I posted this, and then some nerdy collector says, "Is that the one with the full-length track?" I said, "I don't know. You know, only a certain amount of that stuff appeals to me, you know. This is a reissue, you know. Apparently there was a version of this where there's a longer version of a particular track on here. It's no big deal, really, is it? It's just some nerdy shit to talk about, you know. No offense, but, you know, I doubt that person or people who will go on about trivia like that really even listen to the track in question. But this is just fantastic. Psychedelic, weird. This is an iconic cover, too. They're roadie in a dress. I guess the way the picture came together was pretty happenstance, like a lot of genius things. Just A, B, and C come together, and then it's something larger than the original. Great, great Amandul. Julian Cope's been getting a lot of love from me. I love Julian Cope, but I went through a long period of just not even being interested in playing his records. This has been on the turntable head and the remixes a couple of times in the last couple of weeks because it's a reawakening of how much I like what Julian Cope does and realize how talented of a songwriter, arranger, and musician he is. Mega. Julian Cope is major. He, in my opinion, should be spoken of in the same way that any other major English musician is spoken of, and he's not. People babble on about the genius of people like Johnny Marr and Morrissey. Julian Cope is maybe in some ways above them, in my opinion, which I think is why he gets forgotten. I think some of the greatest, most deep art just is too much for the average person to absorb, you know. But it doesn't take away from the greatness, okay? Speaking of greatness, let's listen to this. Again, one of the greatest rock bands and most influential rock bands of all time, led by a black man. Which just again illustrates the insanity of prejudice and racism. It just doesn't make any sense in this world now. It just doesn't, you know. Tribalism at one time, in my opinion, tribalism to a degree makes sense to a degree, but hateful division doesn't to me. Doesn't to me. That's what I want to share today. I hope that the records you sent me, Anita, show up today. I hope that they didn't get lost or some kind of stuff, because that does happen. It does happen. And Brett, if you see this, I want to say once again, brother, thanks for being a real brother and connecting me with this car situation. It is helping me very much. Thank you.